40 for Rateable Crest Titans.
Coming up on this month's edition of the SeaconUK Rally Show, we've got a bumper edition. Coverage from the first 2 rounds of the Circuit Rally Championship from Alton Park and Catball Park, as well as forest action from the final round of the Welsh Rally Championship on the Wydene, and a condensed look at the recent Roger Albert Clark Rally. But first, it's back to the start of November, and the Neil Howard stages at Alton Park kicks us off in the MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship. Fastest out of the blocks will be Mark Kelly and Richard Scarborough, this being Richard's second time sitting in with Mark, the last time resulting in victory, so they'll be looking to keep that 100% record together. Michael Argo and Will Atkins end the morning's first 2 stages in second place. They were a handful of seconds back from the lead, but that didn't matter for now as far as the championship was concerned. Kelly not registered for points this season. Reigning champions, and it only feels like they were crowned 5 minutes ago, doesn't it? John Griffiths and Emma Morrison return to put in a defence of that championship title. And with 3rd place at this stage, it was a strong start. A 10-second penalty, the difference between the lead of the championship crews and where they are now. For Stephen Simpson and Chris Williams, it would be just another 2 seconds back, all very close after the opening 2 stages of action this morning. For Kyron Hankin and James Swallow, it would be 5th place, 16 seconds back from Simpson in the Fiesta up ahead. And Jason and Lee Wilson joined the championship for this season, looking to take the fight to the 4-wheel drive cars in the Darien. Hardly Darien weather, but despite this, they make a strong start with the Class D lead from 6th place overall. For Paul Murrow and Callum Cross, it will be 7th. They could have been a place higher had it not been for a stall on the 2nd stage. They spin it out on the rally school section of the stage as well, almost styling it out with a donut. We know what you were doing. The car, unfortunately, cutting out, costing them a handful of seconds to get going again and, well, cancelling out that style. Previous and multiple rally winner here, Graham Coffey, this time with fellow driver John Cope alongside, was out once again in the Fiesta S2000 Turbo, a young person's car as he calls it. But they were still going well nevertheless, without that comfort blanket of an S12B, lying in 8th place overall. Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner return in the Skoda again this season. And the times were looking good, 3 seconds back from Coffey at this stage in 9th overall. And rounding out the top 10 at this stage were Rob Hughes and Sean Cunniff. They were having a bit of a problem with the brake pressure on the car, not having a good feeling at all. It was lower as well on the leaderboard than we would have expected them to be at this stage. So with the morning's first 2 stages complete here at Alton Park and the weather well and truly drawing in, the results at the top are starting to shape up like this on the leaderboard. Through the next couple of stages then, and we wouldn't see any change in the lead of the rally. Mark Kelly and Richard Scarborough continuing to dominate, in fact increasing their advantage by a few more seconds now as well. Michael Igo and Will Atkins knew that they needed to keep it going without any problems to take the championship victory. A win overall would be nice, but the championship points were the main goal for this weekend, to get that championship campaign well and truly lit. They remain 2nd place, leading our championship cruise for now. The first change, in fact, on the leaderboard would be in 3rd place. Stephen Simpson and Chris Williams moving up to take that final step on the podium, going into the second half of the rally, and clearly pushing the car hard on these stages. That, of course, means that for our reigning champs, John Griffiths and Emma Morrison, they're down a position. But just like at the top of the leaderboard, Simpson wasn't registered for the points, so as far as the championship was concerned, they were still in second place for the points. No change to fifth for Kyron Hankin and James Swallow. They keep hold of that position in the Peugeot and would have a bit of a gap as well to the crews ahead, meaning it was a big ask to change things around for the afternoon, but it was clear they were on for a big push. Paul Moreau and Callum Cross did, however, change their position around, managing to claw back some lost time, moving into sixth place for now. That would mean that Jason and Lee Wilson, still really impressive in these atrocious conditions in that Darien, would move down to seventh. The pair still leading the way in Class D though, of course, as we reach the midpoint in the rally. Things were still going pretty smoothly for Graham Coffey and John Cope, although we would like to have been a fly on the wall inside that Fiesta. No change for them as far as the results were concerned at this stage. They remain in 8th place overall for now. A similar story as well for Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner. No drama, but remaining where they were all morning in 9th place overall. And rounding out the top 10 now would be Will Owen and Chloe Thomas. Going well, moving their way up the overall results, as well as holding on to that Class C lead. This opening round at Alton Park then reaches the midway point. Here's a quick look over those results after stage 4 here at the Salford Van Hire Neil Howard stages. We head out then into the afternoon, and the darkness starts to creep in here at Alton Park. The spot lumps are ready for the last couple of stages. On to our top 10 overall leaderboard then. There actually wouldn't be a 10th place finisher. David Burns and Steve Hallmark would actually be tied on times with another crew, meaning they share 9th place. And the other crew? Well, it would be the Skoda pair of Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner. Consistent pace throughout the day had got them to this point on the overall results. A strong finish here at the opening round. No change for Graham Coffey and John Cope. They managed to get that Fiesta back home with an 8th place finish, only 4 seconds off 7th. And no doubt feeling very accomplished inside that little Darien. Jason and Lee Wilson, despite swapping times and positions a number of times throughout the day, end the rally with 7th. A very impressive finish, especially given the day-long wet conditions that they faced. For Paul Moreau and Callum Cross, it would be 6th. The rally hadn't exactly been completely straightforward for them, but they'd had a good run overall to take a strong finish on the opening round. For Kyron Hankin and James Swallow in the Peugeot 208 T16, it would be 5th place overall. The good news for them, however, is that there were 2 crews above them not registered for championship points, so as far as that goes, it would be a podium finish to open up their championship campaign for 2023-24. The same good fortune for John Griffiths and Emma Morrison as well. Or was it good management? Unable to add victory number 1 to the score sheets just yet, but 2nd place was a strong way to open up that defence of their title for this season. But all of that means that taking maximum points away from the opening round towards their championship account would be Michael Igoe and Will Atkins. They'd had a mixed season last year, it was fair to say, but the pace had always very clearly been there, and with the new season getting off to the best possible start, they would be our first winners and indeed lead the championship going to round 2 at Catball Park. With those maximum points dished out then, it will be back to the overall rally results and our non-championship crews. And for Stephen Simpson and Chris Williams, it will be a good end to the rally. They gain a position in the final stages to take a hard-fought 2nd place overall this weekend. But taking a victory that never really looked in doubt, did it, would be Mark Kelly and Richard Scarborough. A very, very good end to the rally for the pair. A victory of just over a minute by the finish. So at the end of a slippery, varied and pretty challenging opening round, winter rallying is underway in the MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship. The results at the top shaped up like this. Round 2 of the MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship would head for the first of 2 visits to the Lincolnshire Wolds and a glorious Catball Park, but I would say that. There will be a new name at the top of the leaderboard from the start, as well as Rallycross star Patrick O'Donovan and Jack Morton take an early lead of 9 seconds after the second stage. Paul Murrow and Craig Simkis come out fighting, making one of their best starts to date. They slot into second place, putting in some strong times, not getting caught out by these slippery conditions either, which is crucial here at Catball at this time of year. Maximum point scorers last time out, Michael Igoe and Will Atkins will be third at this stage, 7 seconds back from Murrow for now. And Ollie O'Donovan and Ashley Morris will be pushing a little too hard in the early stages, getting caught out on the slippery stage, going the wrong way through Barn and getting up onto 2 wheels over that tyre on the exit. Luckily, they get away with it, continuing in 4th place overall with a bit of bodywork damage to show for their troubles. One notable name missing from the leaderboard at this stage is Mark Kelly. Paul Morris alongside for this round. They hit a bail on the morning's stage, having to call it a day on the very first few miles of the rally. They'd get back out a few stages in the afternoon to get some miles in the car and get some seat time and put in some good times to show perhaps what could have been. Reigning champions John Griffiths and Emma Morrison will be happy with their times. They were only a single second off O'Donovan ahead and only a single second behind Igoe, so it was all still pretty close after the opening stages. You just couldn't make any mistakes in these circumstances. John Stone and Laura Connell make a return to the stages together this weekend, not out for any championship points, so it was just a weekend of getting back into the car after their recent accident, enjoying themselves and getting that confidence back. And in 7th place, it will be the Skoda of Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner, a further 3 seconds back from Stone up ahead and brimming with confidence after a strong performance at the first round. Jason and Lee Wilson, another pair to have a strong showing first time out at Alton Park. They were looking for another good run in the class, and overall, they end the morning just 38 seconds off the leaders overall and leading Class D. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones make a strong start in their class as well, leading Class C and inside the top 10 in 9th overall. A much better start too than the problems that they'd seen early on at the previous round. And rounding out the top 10 at this stage is Steve Hill. Matt Daniels in the Fiesta alongside, 9 seconds back from Hodgson up ahead. So with the morning stages complete, the leaderboard is starting to shape up like this at Catball Park. Over the next couple of stages, there'd be plenty of change in the top of our results, but not for rally leaders Patrick O'Donovan and Jack Morton. They continue to lead the way with a 23-second lead now. John Griffiths and Emma Morrison would gain a good amount of time, hauling themselves into second place. A good morning setting them up nicely going into these afternoon stages for a big push. And for Paul Murrow and Craig Simkis, it would now be 3rd place. Only 3 seconds in it, so it could be anyone's by the end of the day. You certainly wouldn't be calling it just yet. Michael Igoe and Will Atkins would slip down to 4th now. They'd originally dropped to 5th and were climbing back up the order. And for John Stone and Laura Connell, it would be 5th. They were climbing up the order the right way, place by place. Confidence growing in the car, and that position was pretty strong for their first time back. Some of that reshuffle in the leaderboard, down to the loss of Ollie O'Donovan and Ashley Morris. After their earlier off, the bodywork had caught fire, causing a pretty dramatic stage end. Luckily, thanks to fellow competitors and Ashley's quick thinking, the fire was put out, minimal damage, and the car will fight again at the next round. On we go then to the afternoon stages and a look at how the final results were decided. And in 10th place overall by the finish, it would be the Chevette of Alistair Stables and Neil Jones. Another strong performance, the pair also taking 3rd in Class C with that result. For Stephen Sawley and Rob Johnson, it would be 2nd in the class, as well as 9th on the overall leaderboard in the Escort. And it will be another good weekend for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones. They take the Class C victory, 8th place on our overall leaderboard. Steve Hill and Matt Daniels will be climbing the order through the afternoon, going the right way about it as well, ending the rally 7th place overall. And for the Legend Fires team of John Stone and Laura Connell, they'd be back down to 6th place. A successful weekend though, all in all, a good result being back out in the car together after their accident earlier in the year. Back to Class D then at this point in the leaderboard, and our winners in that class, Jason and Lee Wilson. Another good run in the Darien to take class victory by a good margin, as well as taking 5th place overall. These big finishes getting all the more common for this amazing Darien pair. Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner have a good run to 4th. A strong result for the pair, some good points towards that championship campaign as well. Paul Moreau and Craig Simkis simply weren't able to get back into that 2nd place they'd held nearer the start, but they do get a podium under their belts. A good weekend for the pair when all's said and done. We were missing a notable crew from the top of our results as the cars came into the finish though. Michael Igo and Will Atkins suffer a double puncture, ruining any chance of a good result this weekend and adding to that maximum score from round 1. The pair having to come in early from the stage and call it a day. For John Griffiths and Emma Morrison then, a welcomed 2nd place towards that championship defence. Some more good points on the board, looking good so far this season, 2 rounds in the Fiesta R5. But it's a new face in the championship and a new winner at the top of the leaderboard this weekend. Patrick O'Donovan and Jack Morton may be new to the championship, but they are already making their mark and looking pretty ominous with it. Patrick wouldn't be at the following round though at Donington, but he would be back after that to see if this good result can lead to others throughout the season. We've got a feeling that there might be a battle to be had. An interesting narrative then here at our first visit to the Lincolnshire Wolds. At the end of the Catball Park North Humberside rally, the results look like this.
No, I'm really happy with that, and I've really enjoyed it. I haven't been this giddy coming out of a car in a long time. I love rallycross, but I think it's a higher pressure when you're trying to do it career-wise, whereas I can come here and I can just really enjoy these events, and it's just, I'm getting out with a massive smile on my face every time. There's been a few times where we've been giggling in the car, I've had a few moments or whatever, but no, it's been an absolutely amazing experience, and I've loved every second of it.
The final round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship would take place in the Forest of Dean on the now classic Wydene Rally. And despite a bit of a rough season for Matt Hurst and Declan Deere, they only had to start the event to take another Welsh crown. They do just that, taking the rally victory and the championship title in style. A great end to what had been a pretty tricky season for the pair. 2nd place behind them this weekend will be Rob Wilson and Martin Haggard, pushing that Ravenel Evo to its limits in places and a fan favourite with that driving style. Nick Elsmore and Pauline Nash always go well here. They ended the event with 3rd. Nick, a former winner, of course, on his local rally, so he'd be glad to see another good result all these years on. Bob Morgan and Aid Williams were going well all day in the Skoda. They were pretty close to the top of the leaderboard as well, ending the event with 4th by the end of the day's stages. And in 5th, it will be the first of the 2-wheel drive crews. Tom Llewellyn and Sean Williams in the Escort ending the day 5th place overall, and of course with that class victory. Not everyone was having a good day out there on the stages. Myron Evans will be making a return to the gravel after a number of years with Keaton Williams alongside, but frustratingly for them wouldn't make it to the end of the rally. And neither with this man, Tim Freeman. Paul Williams alongside, their day coming to a more dramatic end. The Escort catching fire, the pair having to pull over and put it out with the help of marshals and following competitors. So victory this weekend is the icing on the cake as Matt Hurst and Declan Deere are crowned Welsh champions once again. That's all we've got time to cram in on this month's edition of the SeaconUK Rally Show. And indeed, that's it for this year. We hope to return in 2024. Keep an eye on the Special Stage social media for more updates, and we'll see you on the stages in the new year. Thank you for watching.
here, 40 for Rateable Crest Titans.